Greetings my friends, and welcome to a bit of a different video today. Over the last couple of weeks and months, I've had a number of requests from many people who have visited my channel asking for advice on where to download Darth Mod for Empire Total War, how to install it, and indeed how to use the launcher to customize the settings within the game. So in other words, unit sizes, custom battles, the years, the length of number of turns that can turn into sort of 4 years, 2 years, 3 years, etc. So I'm going to use this video to encompass all of those. So effectively this video is going to be how you get the files for Darth Mod, how you install them, and also how you can use the launcher to customize the game before you actually get into it. So and encompass all of that. There is a wonderful video which helped me a huge amount when I was starting, which is from Lionheart, and he put together a fantastic video of how to install Darth Mod, and it's helped me out as well when I sort of was having a few issues of how to deal with my when mine crashed and I had a few problems with it. That did help me. So what I'll do, I'll put a link to that in the description as well, because that's really is a fabulous. I might be repeating a number of things that Lionheart has put in as well, and I know I don't want to sort of be accused of copying. I put that out there absolutely straight from the off. A great deal of this Lionheart has already covered, and I don't want to be seen as sort of me copying that, but I'm just going to try and encompass not only where you download it from and install it, but also how you use the launcher as well to sort of add a little bit of some extras to the campaign, or to be able to select what you want for the campaign. So the first thing that we can look at is where you get it from. So where you get the files from to start with. That's been a real issue for some people of how they get the files, where they download them from. So there are two main sources where you can get the files from. Now the first is ModDB. As you can see here, you can just simply do a search for Darth Mod Empire in Google, and it'll bring up ModDB. Is usually at the top, I believe is usually at the top. Then you come to files, just choose files from these from when you click onto this, and then you'll see these three files are the main ones we're looking at here. Now ignore these are all obsolete. As you can see, these are completely useless. These are the old version of Darth Mod. So these three that we're looking at, we've got Customise here, which I'm probably going to use in the future at some point. I've been looking at that, and I've also had it recommended that I use that, so I will. It actually adds, as you can see here, an overhaul to the minor factions. And those of you who wish to take that leap, by all means, please look into it yourselves. I don't really want to sort of delve into it yet. I'm just going to try and stick to what the sort of the central point of this video is. So as you can see here, you can download 2 parts, Platinum version 8, Platinum Part 1, Part 2, and there's a patch as well. Now, if you download it in this form, so ignore the patch for the moment, my friends, so just look at Platinum Part 1 and Part 2. When you download these as 2 separate entities, of course, logic would suggest that you sort of, when you've downloaded it, you install Part 1 first, and here's what some people are having a problem. Once Part 1 is finished installing, a number of people are having problems where it says, please insert disk 2 to carry on the installation of Darth Mod. Now, a number of you have been confused that there's somehow a disk involved or something along those lines. It isn't, my friends. What it is, the program they're using to install this has a sort of a default setting where it has disk 1 and disk 2 as sort of a default. It is not able to say please now install file 2, but when it says install disk 2, it means you click on this, you install this part, and then the installation will automatically pick this up as soon as you double click on it and you start it running and you give it permission to run. It will then start to install this Platinum Part 2. So that's what they mean when they say please install disk 2. This is effectively what disk 2 is. So simply do Platinum Part 1, then once that's finished installing its part, then it'll say please insert disk 2. This is disk 2. Double click on this, give it permission, and then it should fully install Darth Mod. Once you've installed these two, you have effectively Darth Mod upon your machine. Now, depending on your broadband speed, it'll take, it could take a while. I think these are pretty large files separately here. But again, that is something unique to each of you. Some people will take a few minutes, some people might take half an hour depending on your broadband speed. Now it is important that you also download the Platinum patch here, as you can see, version 8.0.1. This is important because it does fix many of the launches for the Darth Mod, and also enhances the gameplay, adjusts a few bugs, get rid of a few bugs as well. So it's really important to download these and this. Now, once you've installed these, of course, you will then install the platinum patch, and that will, of course, then sort of sit on top of these two base files, as it were. So again, if you want to go through the moddb route, these are the three files you're interested in. This one first, then this one, then this one. That's the sequence which obviously logic dictates. So these are the sequence you put it in. Now the other website, the one I personally used, was here, which is Total War Center. Now, as you can see here, they have it all set out here. There's a Darth Mod, there's the modder himself, a wonderful modder. And as you can see, you're probably thinking, where are the files that matter on this? Now, they're tucked away here. Here it is here. So we've got full version. Just click on Show, and here are the files you're going to need. Now, you can download them in two parts. So you can either go through from ModDB's servers themselves, part 1 and 2 here. You can go to File Front, get part 1 and 2. Similar, so part 1 and 2 here, again, you can see here. And then here it is also for the patch as well, so you can include the patch as well. Is down here, the latest patch, so you click on this. So once you've got, if you decide to do it in two parts, if it's easier for you to download in terms of your speed of your internet, you go here then and download the patch from here. Now, I personally downloaded it all in one file from Strategy Gamer. So I went this route and I downloaded it from one file, and I probably could show you here. Yes, here it is indeed. So as you can see, I downloaded all of mine via one. So this is one file, 1.86 gigabytes here, and also here is the patch. So this is my own sort of copy, which I always keep available just in case on a separate external drive. So as you can see here, all these here. So I got the single version with the platinum patch on there, and there's the patch there, as you can see. So these are the two routes you can go down. You can either go two separate parts, which of course would probably help if your broadband speed isn't quite up to spec. But if you wanted to get this a single one, and again, now broadband speeds, most people's broadband speeds are quite, really quite good. So it's not going to take a long time to download these. So that's basically where you get in. The same thing applies even if you download it by singularly. To do it singularly, you just double click on this, it'll install it all in one go, and then once that's installed, you just double click on this and there's the patch installed. It's as simple as that, my friends. There's nothing too taxing about doing that. It's pretty self-explanatory, and again, as Lionheart has also pointed out, there's some general solutions here to the common problems. So again, if you load up this here, it'll bring up some of the problems that people have been seeing here. Check if the download is corrupt. You click on this, you can check these different things. It shows you different ways to sort of solve different problems. Crash desktop at startup, crash a desktop, audio fix, things like that. So as you can see, there are a number of sort of FAQs here and a different information to solve possible problems that some of you might have for installing it as well. As you can see, so for me personally, Total War Center is really the place I go for all of my mods for Total War. It really is a wonderful, and of course now they sort of moved to Steam and you can download from Steam. It's much easier. But for the older versions of Total War, this is where I always go. Total War Center. I find it much more easier to navigate, and the stuff is much more readily available as well. But that's not to say that ModDB isn't good. It is, but I prefer Total War Center. It's more focused upon Total War. Now that you've got that, so we're going to assume now for the moment that everything's gone well. You've installed what you wanted to do, and you've got the launcher ready. So of course, there are a few things. Of course, you double click on this, and it'll ask for permission, as you can see here, to be able to want to run it. Yes, of course, you want to be able to run it. Now this is important. Those of you who haven't used this mod at all, you might think because you've double clicked on this that this Darth Mod is now ready to go. So as soon as you go into Empire Total War, Darth Mod will be sitting there ready for you. It won't, my friend. It's just because you've opened this using double clicking on this, it isn't. The crucial thing to do, and it's pretty obvious, you might not see it here, but it's pretty obvious to do, is you need to click on this. This is very, very important. You click on this, as you can see, and it's run. There it is. It's on there. Now it is ready to run. And it says you are ready to launch Empire manually. Please do not close the launcher. Just click OK, but do not click on this. If you click off this, you're sort of removing the the mod from the game. So we're not entirely, but just from this particular version. So if I was to click off this and I went into Empire Total War, Darth Mod wouldn't be on there because I've then removed the launcher, I've removed the files that are sitting behind this. So I'd have to come back out, double click on it, and then press start again to do it all over again. So once you've got this and you press start and you've got that mesh come up, just press OK and then either leave it here or just minimize it to the tray. So just minimize it to your screen. There it is, set there, and it's fine. So just you can leave it either like this or you can do this. And you can see down here, you can probably see in the corner, I've got custom and I've got 4 turns per year. So file, you can open user scripts and preferences. Personally, I wouldn't worry about any of this. Of course, you can exit it from this route, but I usually just press this if I want to exit it. Edit, you can also include user scripts, maybe something you want to add to it, take away. You can sort of play with different file types, different unit sizes. You can alter different things in here. I personally don't bother with that at all. You've got launcher audio, so I've got it off. It's launcher audio basically means, do you want the music? There's music on top of this. It sits on this and plays very loud. I turned it off here, but if you want the music on when the launcher starts, of course that's it. Auto start is also off. So as soon as you basically log on and you sort of put your machine up, this will automatically fire up. That's what it basically means. I've turned that off as well. Enable restore mode, which will restore it back to default basically, which is handy if you have problems with it, and that can come in handy. But again, auto start will mean this: when you start your PC up, this launcher will automatically start up as well for you as soon as you log in. So that's pretty much it is. Now here's the important part. This is the campaigns, so that you can choose which campaigns you want to play, within the game. So you've got Darth Mod. Here, Empire, you've got Ultimate Early, Ultimate Late, and Uprising. Now, Ultimate Early is the one I usually choose when you want to start right from this, I think it's 1700, and start basically bare bones, where you've got no advantage, no tech. Some of the nations aren't there, like America isn't there, and a few of the minor nations aren't there. So if you want to start right from the beginning and build and sort of have America and a few other nations sort of rise up as the campaign progresses, then you want to choose Ultimate Early. And again, you will have no tech. Your money will be pretty low. I think there's a few things they've tweaked in it to sort of start you off, as I said, bare bones. Ultimate Late will bring in, I think the USA is in this one, there's a few other nations in there as well, but also it does have some of your nations will have tech already sort of sat there ready. They'll have already researched tech, and I think there's a few other bonuses they've put in there as well. But again, that's entirely up to you. Now, I haven't used Uprising at all, so I'm not going to comment on that because I haven't used Uprising. So I'm not sure what that one will do because I've never used it. So again, I'm not going to tell you what that is because I've never used it, and I just be giving you false information, and that would sort of negate what we're trying to do here. Now, custom is where you can choose all of the minor nations. So that's what custom basically does. Custom gives you, I think it's all the sort of the minor ones. My mind has gone blank as I'm trying to do this, but the ones I've been doing. Nice St. John. I think pirates. You can probably get. No, I'm not sure you can probably get pirates in here. You can get sort of Dagestan. You get Mamelukes. All the sort of Italy, Naples. Some of the other minor nations, a lot of the other minor nations as well are available. Some of them, you start a lot of them in the Mediterranean. I'm not sure if Greece wouldn't be in there, but I believe the USA is in there as well. Basically gives you access to all of the nations, even the minor nations. That's what I'm basically trying to say. And if you want, as you can see, I've ticked it, so that's the one I'm using. That's how you get the USA. That's how you get the other sort of. Because I've had a number of people asking me, how do you get the USA? How do you get these other minor nations? That's how you do it. Click on custom. And away you go. You've got multiplayer as well. Again, I haven't used that, so I can't comment on it. I don't play multiplayer on Empire using Darth Mod, but again, I'm not sure what that does. You can have 40 units saved, so that's a massive units. They're absolutely huge. Again, I haven't used those, so I won't comment on those because I haven't used them. I'll only comment on what I have used. So again, if you want all of the nations that are available, I know some of them aren't. There's Greece emerges later on. And I think Quebec emerges later on. You can't get those. They're sort of they emerge under certain conditions, so you can't actually play those. But all the other minor nations you can usually see in the vanilla. You can actually play with those when you got custom. Now options here. Okay, you've got the default options, which of course I don't have at the moment. But here it is. You can either have for every turn can either be 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years. And I've got 4 years. So when you normally in the vanilla version, when you click on the next turn, it'll just go to the next year. So it'll go from 1700 to 701, and then another turn of 702, and you click on it again, 702. So the campaign is over quite quickly. But if you've got 4 years per sort of turn, or 4 turns are equal to a year, then of course that extends it outwards. It gives you basically seasons. It gives you autumn, winter, spring, and summer. So I mean, it gives you that the seasons. Every year has a season, has sort of all the seasons involved in it, and it extends the campaign a lot further. In my opinion, I prefer to have 4 turns per year. I think it just adds a lot more depth to the campaign. Gameplay here as well. Now, this is where you can really have a little bit of fun if you want to sort of really sort of beef up some of the units. So as you can see here, you can have normal artillery, you can have times 1.5 or times 2, so of course you can increase your artillery yield. I've kept it as normal because I don't want to sort of, I'd see it as almost like cheating, that if you go into times, for me personally, I'm not saying if you want to go times 2 you're cheating, it's just for me personally, I want to keep the campaigns so that you don't sort of blitz everything out of sight with loading up all your armies with lots and lots of artillery. I like to have sort of that balance there. So again, you can up the artillery ante, as it were, by timesing it by 1.5 or by 2. You can enable grenades, which I don't think I have enabled. No, I haven't enabled grenades. Again, I wanted to keep it sort of. I know that you can get grenades on some of the British troops and some of the I think some of the Marines. I know the Grenadiers usually come with grenades, but I haven't enabled that. But you can enable grenades for I think Grenadiers and a few of the elite units can get the grenades. Of course, language is going to be English, but of course you've got French, Spanish, and German as well, if you so choose. Now, research rate, you can lower the research rate incredibly so, down to a half, a quarter, or 1/8. So I mean, if you're doing it to 1/8 here, it's going to be mind-bogglingly slow research. I guess you could tie it up to the year. So if you've got 4 turns, for every year you get 4 turns, I guess you could put it to a quarter, I guess. But I mean, I've left it on normal because otherwise your research is going to be lagging quite far behind, especially if you start as maybe say the Ottomans or something like that, where their research is just non-existent, or if you start with a minor nation that doesn't have any capability to research anything at all, you're going to be lagging so far behind that the challenge is going to be nigh on impossible, because everybody else is going to be way ahead of you. Even if they are on a quarter or a half of research, it's going to be pretty hard for you as a minor nation with no ability to research at all. It's going to be incredibly difficult to catch up. But again, if you fancy that challenge, again, that's another challenge you might want to add to it there. Now, no forts. I think that just adds the ability to, so that every battle will just be like an open battle. There will be no fort battles. Now, that can help in 2 ways. Empire Total War can be a little bit brutal on PCs that aren't up to spec in terms of fort battles. I've known for my own self, before I updated my machine, I would do a fort battle and it would play havoc with my PC. It would play absolute havoc, and it would just become almost impossible to play fort battles. It would lag horrifically, and it would be a misery to play it. It really would. And this option would be fantastic for that. It also has another advantage in terms of if you just want to get bogged down in that sort of battles. You want to have all open battles. Nobody has forts. Nobody can hide behind walls. Then of course you can click on that as well. And the deployment zone, I've got a normal, but you can have a massive deployment zone as well. I mean, I think it's double the size of what you'd normally get. So some deployment zones would just be humongous, they really would, and where you'd have deployment zones pretty much touching each other. Personally, for me, I'm not really a fan of that, but again, this is all personal preference. This is not me saying you must do it this way because I do it. That's what I'm saying, my friends. But personally, I'd keep it as normal. I don't want to be having sort of gigantic deployment zones, because your troops will just get lost, and you're taking a long time for your troops to get to the enemy. So all your guns are going to be miles away from where the enemy are actually deploying. And personally, for me, I don't see the pull in that. But again, that's pretty much where it comes now. Graphics as well. Let's go to graphics. Enable trails. That's where you can the artillery, and that will have sort of trails behind it, like smoke trails behind it. Again, I haven't put that in because sometimes the graphics can become overbearing. They can be too much, and it can blur out what the focus of the battles are, which is the tactics and the strategies around the battle. Sometimes there can be too much going on the screen. I found that enabling trails for me personally was just taking too much away from where the central focus was meant to be, and also it was making this screen too busy, too much going on there. But again, if you want trails, my friends, and again, remember, some of these are pretty graphical intensive, even though the game is, 10 plus years old, or probably even longer. It is still graphically intensive in terms of you put all these things on, and the battles can become sort of almost like just a smoke haze. You just don't see anything apart from smoke. So be just a word of warning there, my friends. But if you want to put them on, by all means, put everything, throw the kitchen sink at the graphics. Now I've got enhanced effects on here just to add sort of smoke and gunfire and muzzle fire and things like that. I've gone for the whole kit and caboodle with that. I've turned off trails, but I've enhanced the effects here, and also I think some of the shimmer effects and light and things like that, and that type of thing is all on there as well. I've added that on. Weather, again, you can adjust the weather. I think you can have weather effects on where you have heavier rain, fog and things like that. Again, I didn't want to take away from take away from the battle, the focus of the battles. Font size, again, if you're depending on how your eyesight is, and things like that, again, you might want to increase the font size depending on your own sight, your own personal preferences. Again, of course, you can disable it as well. Battlefield borders, I've got them off. I'm not 100% sure what battlefield borders is, but I'm assuming that it makes the borders much smaller. HUD type, again, I've got transparent. You can have leather or normal, but I've gone transparent. HUD type is basically keeping the HUD, all the icons and all that much clearer, and not cluttering up the screen, so I've gone for that. And then movement arrows, I've gone for normal. You can have a blue movement arrow, but again, I've gone for normal, just to keep it nice and simple, as it were. Utilities, you can check files, you can got the unit editor, long address and things like that, but I wouldn't really worry about that. And of course, you've got help. You can click on the help, and it'll give you help with different things. But that, my friends, is pretty much where we're at the moment. Now, there is the additional units mod as well you can get, but I won't go into that in this particular video either. And of course, you've got the mod manager again. I won't go into that in a particular video. I want to keep things nice and simple as possible. I've also had requests from a number of you asking what I record with, and my settings for my recordings and things like that, my sound and things like that. Of course, as you can probably see up here, I've got OBS Studio. I've got Bandicam. I've also got down here, I've got D3D gear. So again, if you want me to go through that and what I use for those, by all means, I'll do that. But I hope this has helped those of you who are interested in installing Darth Mod and getting it up and running, and showing you my settings. I hope that does help you, my friends. Again, those of you who've probably already got it installed and know all this, again, I maybe if you can leave your comments down below if I've missed something out, or I've misinterpreted some of these things along the top here. Please, of all, constructive criticism is always welcome here. If I've made some of these options wrong, and I've sort of said the wrong thing, or had the wrong aspect of some of these, please let me know, my friends. But anyway, I hope that will help you, and I hope you enjoy the campaign. If you do decide to take the plunge with them, Darth Mod, it is a wonderful mod, it really, really is. But my friends, I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, please keep your comments coming down below, and there will be a Great Britain campaign episode coming out after this video as well. So hope you enjoy this, but until next time, my friends, bye for now.